Swedish foreign minister discusses peace efforts in Yemen with U.S. Special Envoy. Government forces attack Houthi militia positions in Al-Majah west of Ma'rib. Joint forces defend Houthi rebels' fires in Hudaydah. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English news with me, Shaza Abdelbey. Today, the Swedish Foreign Minister Anna Lindh and the U.S. Special Envoy for Yemen met to discuss peace efforts. Anna Lindh said on Twitter that she was pleased with meeting Tim Litterking and discussing with him the crisis in Yemen and UN efforts to reach peace. Anna Lindh stressed that the international support is required to re-energize the political process in Yemen and reassured that Sweden engagement will continue to reach peace in the region. In Ma'rib, government forces backed by resistance carried out an ambush targeting a group of Houthi militia members on Al-Majah front west of Ma'rib. A military source stated that the ambush resulted in the death of 18 Houthi elements, where the artillery of the army launched strikes that targeted the militia's movements at the front, causing losses in the equipment and lives. Still in Ma'rib, where government forces announced that they have liberated new areas west of the city, the forces broadcast a video for their operation in Ma'rib, showing strikes against Houthi positions through the government forces and coalition jets. The forces said fire clashes took place with the Houthi rebels in Al-Qassara front. The government forces added new positions were liberated in this front, causing heavy losses among the militia. The recent escalation of Houthis in different parts of Yemen and on Saudi Arabia borders is alarming. The tension may lead Yemen and the region as a whole to undesired consequences. More on this Houthi recent escalation is within this report.
The past days witnessed an alarming escalation of tension from the part of Houthi rebels in Yemen and Saudi Arabia. Houthi rebels targeted with ballistic missiles and drones Al-Anad air base in Lahaj to the south of Yemen. The air base is the biggest in Yemen. The attack on Al-Anad air base resulted in 40 killed and tens of injured. The attack took place in the early hours of the day, when it targeted a regular morning exercise and hangars for soldiers. Al-Anad attack is the third of its kind in 4 years. Ballistic missiles were also used by Houthis in Damaa. The militia launched 2 rockets, one of them has failed and the other's target was unknown. The escalation of Houthi continued, with the rebels launching drone attack against Saudi 1,000 parts. The militia targeted with drone attacks Khamis Mashit, and a ballistic missile was launched against Nagran. In addition, the rebels attacked the Saudi airport of Abha. The attack caused damage in a commercial plane and injured 8 civilians. For its part, the American Department of State denounced the Abha attacks. Antony Blinken, Secretary of State, said that Saudi territories were subjected to more than 240 Houthi attacks since the beginning of this year. He added that there are more than 70,000 Americans living in the KSA who are in danger from such attacks. The Secretary of State warned that this Houthi escalation could prolong the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. According to him, the attacks will protract the conflict and will threaten efforts for peace in a critical moment. The Houthi Abha attacks were conducted by a drone, which was fired down by Saudi defenses. It was the second in a single day to target the Abha airport. In response, the coalition published a video saying that it has destroyed a drone launching pad in Sana'a. The coalition said that this pad was used by Houthis to launch drone attacks against the Abha airport. Returning inside Yemen, Houthis are trying hard to seize Ma'rib. This strategic city will afford them a golden opportunity to have full control on the whole of the country. The rebels, despite having daily big losses, are trying to advance to Ma'rib in order to secure oil and natural gas. The win, if happened, will secure them $20 million a month, according to a study. Houthi rebels will have strategic control over routes and communications because the city is located at the center of the country. However, Daily fierce clashes are run by the Yemeni resistance in all parts of the country against Houthis. The Yemeni heroes are inflicting the rebels heavy losses in Hodeidah, Ma'rib and Ad-Dali'. They are committed to return back their countries from the hands of the Houthi militia.
Ma'rib city has become recently a major headline in the Yemeni war sad chapter. Houthi rebels have started attacking the city since the year 2020, aiming to control the oil-rich zone, yet they are not winning. The following report has more details on the economic and political importance of Ma'rib.
The war in Yemen has a decisive moment. This moment will be very clear with the battle in Ma'rib. Ma'rib is a city that is located to the center-west of Yemen. It is about 170 kilometers east of the capital Sana'a. It has nearly 1 million of population, and its strategic importance lies within the oil wealth. In 1986, the government opened a refinery in Ma'rib which produced more than 10,000 barrels per day. The refinery was expanded to produce 25,000 barrels per day. Houthi militia is pushing ahead to seize this strategic governorate, as their campaign is to control oil and the land. For them, the fall of Ma'rib will deal a big blow to the government force that strive, with those tribes supporting them, to hold the Houthis back. The strategic location of this governorate affords it a specific importance, that its fall will control the roads to the south, the west and the east. Ma'rib is last stronghold for the government. For this reason, fierce clashes continue day by day to fence off the Houthi advancements. Ma'rib is the gate of victory to the government forces too, which try to score a win with which it could change the game. The die-hard resistance will give the government forces a hope of securing the line between the west of the country and its east, and will keep Houthis within their limits, if even not pushing them back to their stronghold in the north. Forcing Houthis back and securing lines of command in Yemen may then give an opportunity to the resistance to secure the humanitarian aids to millions of Yemenis, and will slow the pace of displacement, especially in the city. Looking ahead, the whole world powers are observing the coming days to see how the situation in Ma'rib may develop and how by then the scene in Yemen as a whole will be shaped.
3 civilians were killed and 3 others were wounded in a mine explosion in Al Jawf, northeast of Yemen. Sources said that the Houthi mine exploded in a passing car, resulted in the killing of a man and 2 young girls. 3 others were wounded. Houthi planted more than 2 million mines in Yemen, leaving thousands of victims. Most of them are women and children. In Hodeidah, joint forces defended Houthi fires as they renewed shelling civilian houses south of the city. According to local sources, residential villages were bombarded with mortar shells and heavy weapons in Al-Jah and Bayt al-Faqih, causing fear and panic among civilians. Meanwhile, joint forces managed to inflict casualties among the militia members in the Kilo 16th area. To Taz, 4 Houthi militants were killed in 2 separate operations conducted by the government forces. Taz Media Center said that the 2 Houthi members were killed in a successful operation in Al-Dabab front. The center added that 2 other Houthi militants were killed and others wounded during a penetration operation by the government forces into their positions to the north of the city. Houthi rebels shelled the eastern and northern parts of Taz. Our correspondent in Taz said that the Houthi artillery shelled the residential areas with heavy fires. The shelling came after clashes with government forces in the northern and eastern areas of the city. Coming next. Houthis continue their mad war against Yemenis and crack down artists and singers.
ثالثتي على منطقة الروضة، استهدف الأطفال الأبرياء اللي يلعبوا في الشارع يدعي للسلام يقول له للسلام يقتل اطفالنا يقتل اطفالنا الابرياء.
انا قلت ارتجعت ولا اقول معي واحد صاروخ ثاني، طلعت البيت حقنا. عشان العب انا واصحابي والصاروخ الطرح.
Welcome back. Houthi militia continues to manipulate aid relief in Yemen. Humanitarian organizations provide aids to innocent civilians in Houthi-controlled areas. However, these aids are being stolen by the Houthi militia rebels and given to their loyalists.
Despite the measures taken by the United Nations to limit the Houthi militia's manipulation and theft of humanitarian aid in its areas of control, documents published by supporters of this militia revealed the continued manipulation of the lists of beneficiaries in favor of the Houthi militia leaders and its followers in more than one area and depriving the rest of the country of this aid. Activist Mohsen El-Tam, one of the most prominent activists in Damar, revealed that Houthi supervisors and their local leaders in Jabal al-Sharq seized most of the funds allocated as aid to innocent civilians who needed after the funds were approved. He published lists of beneficiaries whose names have been approved, which show that the militia leaders in the district are the only ones benefiting from this. According to local sources, the militia intelligence arrested the activist El-Tam after he published these lists, which include the beneficiaries of the aid provided by the World Food Programme in the district. Since the takeover of the capital Sana'a, the militias have imposed on international organizations working in the relief field local partners from organizations established for this purpose, and through these organizations, aid is controlled and used to serve the militia and its affiliates or fighters in its ranks. According to these sources, the Supreme Council for Humanitarian Affairs, which was formed by the Houthi Intelligence Service, controls the activities of relief organizations and imposes local partners from the organizations that it has established. However, this council activities are subject to suspension. The restrictions imposed by the Houthi militia on international organizations extend to the gender of employees, as women are prevented from moving between regions and governorates unless accompanied by a male relative, even if she works for an organization affiliated with the United Nations. The Houthi militia continues violating human rights in all life aspects. They not only destroy families and their homes, but also deprive them of any aid provided by humanitarian organizations. This adds to their ongoing suffering.
To Sana'a, where Houthi armed men tried to seize a plot of land that belongs to a citizen in Al Jawiya neighborhood. Clashes between the two sides erupted for hours. 3 of Houthi rebels were killed during the clashes, and 8 others were wounded. The citizen's house was totally set to fire because of the clashes in which RPGs were used. In Ib, it was reported that the Houthi militia kidnapped dozens of shop owners. The move taken by the rebels came after shop owners demanded a dismissal of a Houthi official. The Houthi official raised the rent for the shop owners in order to force them to hand the shops over to Houthi loyalists. Further in Ib, sources in the University of Ib said that the members of Houthi militia assaulted female students in the Faculty of Medicine. The sources indicated that the Houthi members attacked the students after they set a party for one of their classmates. Additionally, it was reported that the Houthis attacked the deputy chef of the Faculty of Medicine.
In their constant campaign against art and artists, the Houthi militia raided a wedding party in the capital Sana'a and kidnapped a singer who was performing in the party. Activists on social media reported that the militia stormed the capital hall in Sana'a, kidnapped the singer Asil Ali Abu Bakr, and took him to the police station. Those activists accused the Houthi leading member, called Mohsen al-Saqaf, of kidnapping the singer Asil. The incident sparked widespread criticism and popular resentment amid calls for the singer's release. In the same context, the Houthi militia had previously detained the famous singer Fuad al-Kibsi and confiscated all his musical instruments, including the lute or oud, while he was on his way back to Sana'a after performing in a wedding party in Hudaydah. The Houthi militia practices repression against musicians and artists, described by activists as being similar to those carried out by Al-Qaeda and ISIS. These assaults comes after the militia had issued a circular banning singers from attending events and weddings that take place in Sana'a and areas controlled by the militias. Also, the militia prevented festivals and musical concerts in public places, as several Yemeni cities witnessed cases of attacks by Houthi militants on civilians at weddings and university graduation parties. Singers in Sana'a and areas under the control of the Houthi militia suffer from systematic campaigns of incitement carried out by leaders in the Houthi group, under the pretext of preventing singing, which to them is considered taboo. Over the past years, the militia has started to close public cafes and restaurants, and restrict concerts, artistic and festival activities. According to Yemeni activists, such practices remind us of ISIS and Al-Qaeda conduct.
The National Committee Against Coronavirus announced the registration of 31 new cases of the epidemic in 7 governorates. Committee officials said on Twitter that 13 cases were recorded in Hadramaut, 7 in Aden, 4 in Taiz, 2 in Ma'rib, 2 in Shabwa, 2 in Al-Dala, and 1 in Al-Mahra. Also, 8 deaths were documented, 6 in Hadramaut, 2 in Taiz, plus 34 recovered cases, 19 in Aden, 12 in Hadramaut, and 3 in Taiz. With the current updates, the total confirmed cases are 7,900, including 1,480 deaths and 4,871 cases of recovery. Here's a reminder of the main headlines. Swedish Foreign Minister discusses peace efforts with U.S. Special Envoy. Government forces attack Houthi militia positions in Al-Majah west of Ma'rib. Joint forces defend Houthi rebels' fires in Hudaydah. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.